The night the jet fell from the sky, the mountains were silent under a skin of ice. Eli Carter was chopping firewood behind his cabin when the roar split the air, wrong and violent, followed by a flash that lit the treeline. He dropped the axe and ran toward the lake, boots slipping on snow. The private jet hit the water like a thrown star, breaking apart, flames licking the surface even as steam rose from the freezing black lake. Eli didn't stop to think. He shrugged off his coat, kicked free of his boots, and dove straight into the burning cold. The water stole his breath instantly. Fire floated above him in oily streaks, heat clashing with ice. He swam toward the sinking fuselage, ears ringing, eyes stinging. Inside the twisted cabin, a man was slumped against a seat, unconscious, blood at his temple, a seatbelt trapping him. Eli fought the buckle with numb fingers, finally wrenching it loose. The man drifted, heavy and limp. Eli wrapped an arm around his chest and kicked upward, lungs screaming as the surface broke in a chaos of smoke and flame. They reached the shore just as sirens began echoing from the distant road. Eli dragged the man onto the ice-crusted rocks, checked his breathing, and rolled him onto his side. The stranger coughed weakly. Headlights flashed through trees. Eli looked once more at the man's face, memorizing nothing, then stood. He pulled on his coat with shaking hands and disappeared into the forest before anyone could call out, leaving behind only wet footprints that quickly froze solid. By morning, the crash was everywhere. Helicopters thudded overhead. News vans clogged the single road that led up the mountain. Eli watched from his porch as smoke rose faintly from the lake miles away. His daughter, Lily, sat at the table inside, coloring quietly, unaware that the world had shifted overnight. Eli poured coffee he didn't drink and listened to the radio announce that tech billionaire Nathaniel Cross had survived a catastrophic crash thanks to an unidentified rescuer. Eli turned it off and went about his day, fixing a loose hinge, shoveling snow, pretending the quiet still belonged to him. 3 black Cadillacs arrived just after sunrise the next day. They moved up the dirt road like something unreal, polished and silent. Eli felt the knock before he heard it, a weight in his chest. He opened the door to find 3 men in dark coats, breath steaming, faces careful. One stepped forward, introduced himself as Daniel Price, head of security for Nathaniel Cross. He spoke gently, but his eyes searched everything, the cabin, the trees, Eli's hands. "Mr. Carter," he said, "we believe you saved Mr. Cross's life." Eli didn't deny it. He didn't confirm it either. Lily peered from behind his leg, clutching her stuffed bear. Price noticed and softened. He explained that Cross was awake, recovering, and asking questions no one could answer. Satellite images, witness reports, and one fisherman's shaky video had led them here. "Mr. Cross would like to thank you," Price said. "Personally." Eli hesitated. Gratitude had a way of changing things. He had built this life to be small and safe. But Lily needed shoes soon, and winter was long. The city hospital smelled like antiseptic and money. Eli felt out of place in borrowed boots and a clean flannel. Nathaniel Cross lay propped against pillows, thinner than his photos, eyes sharp despite the bandage on his head. When he saw Eli, something loosened in his expression. "You," he said hoarsely. "You didn't wait." Eli shrugged. Cross laughed softly, then winced. "Everyone waits," he said. "For permission. For applause. You didn't." He asked Eli why. Eli thought of Lily asleep in her room, of his late wife's smile, of the lake swallowing sound. "Because there wasn't time," he said. Cross insisted on helping. Money was offered, a number that made Eli's head spin. Eli refused it at first, then accepted a portion after Cross insisted it wasn't charity but a debt. More importantly, Cross listened. He learned about Lily, about the cabin, about the job Eli had lost years ago when the mill closed. Cross's gratitude wasn't loud, it was deliberate. He asked Eli to stay in touch. Eli agreed, assuming it would fade, a story for headlines. But weeks passed, and the calls continued, brief and thoughtful. Spring crept into the mountains. Snow melted into rushing streams. One afternoon, Cross arrived alone in a simple SUV. He walked the land with Eli, asking questions about the trees, the lake, the winter. He admitted the crash had changed him, stripped away the illusion of control. "I built things to move fast," Cross said. "I forgot how fragile fast can be." He offered Eli work, not as an employee, but as a partner in a small foundation focused on rural safety and emergency response. Eli hesitated. He had never wanted power. Cross smiled. "Neither did I," he said. "Until it was the only way to fix something." The foundation started quietly. Training programs. Equipment grants. Lily helped pack boxes, proud and serious. Eli found himself traveling occasionally, returning always to the cabin. The Cadillacs never came back. Cross preferred old trucks and dirt roads now. On the anniversary of the crash, they stood together by the lake. The water was calm, reflecting sky and pine. Cross thanked him again, without spectacle. Eli nodded, feeling the cold memory soften. When they left, the lake kept its silence, but the mountains felt different, not broken, just awake.